Hello and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2 with me, Neat, and today is a bit of a possibly one-off video, maybe a mini-series. I want to see whether we can recreate or make I suppose, an interpretation of Venice. Now, I will put up some pictures in edit of kind of bird's eye view of Venice. I've been there twice. And this kind of has come off the back of my Carnopia series, trying to make a more pedestrianised city. And I know Venice itself is completely, other than driving in and parking up, it is completely carless because they've got all the canals. And I thought it would be really, really interesting to see if it would be possible to make that in Cities Skylines 2. So, I had a little bit of a trial run yesterday when I was feeling quite unwell and didn't particularly want to have my face on camera. And I've looked at all the different maps, and actually I think the Barrier Reef map is going to be the most plausible option. And because it's just kind of a little mini-series, one-off episode potentially, we're going to start with everything unlocked and unlimited money, because we need to kind of make the canals and everything first. But the other thing with Venice is it's pretty much an island for tourism. All the people that work there, or most of them, live either on the mainland or on some of the surrounding islands and then travel in, because it's just, you can't drive anywhere, it's just not very actually decent, it's not a great place to really live. So we can't really have farms and that on the island, it doesn't work. So we're going to go for everything all included and try and build Venice as Venice, and then have like the mainland and things for industry and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and select European theme, and we will call it Venice 2.0. And we've unlocked everything. So let's wait for this to load. Right, here we are on Barrier Island, or our new Venice, and again we'll pop up some bird's eye view and kind of satellite view of Venice. And actually it's not that dissimilar. You've got the mainland of Italy over here, where you've got all the industry and where many of the people live, and then they do just have a road and a train line that runs all the way across to Venice. And then the only real difference is the shape of the island, and there are, you know, some other little islands dotted around where I guess again more people live, generally the wealthier ones that can afford to do so. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and kind of map out our canals, as it were, and then so let's purchase all the squares around our island. There we go. And then we'll do the same with some of these ones on the mainland, just for now. Right, everything is purchased. Let's look at putting in our canals. I've got an image for myself to reference, so I may look down at my phone at periods of time just to help me work out kind of some shapes, because Venice actually has this very obvious kind of like snake thicker canal, or I don't know what they would actually call it, I'm sure it's got an official name, kind of through the middle of it, and then very, very tiny canals, basically making fake roads, but they're not roads, you know, they're canals. So in the real Venice, the train line comes in around about here, as does some parking for buses and stuff to drop off tourists, and then the canal kind of starts from around this area. In fact, they have a big cut-off point. So what we're going to do is just marry up this part of the sea, the depth of the sea, and we'll start off with a thin line, because actually it kind of comes, almost blocks off this area. Right, there we have a rough outline of our Venice. Now these are, we've got one big canal going through the middle, and then we've got a couple of little ones. Now I know that Venice itself is like riddled, you know, with canals. There's probably way more, because they do literally treat them as roads, but I don't think we can actually fit houses and buildings in, so I've tried to be a little bit more conservative, maybe not even enough conservative, but this is what we're dealing with initially. We're going to let the water fill in, so we're just going to start off by putting in the utilities, which we're going to do off island onto the mainland, and connect up a rail network. You can't tell me you've got electric issues. Oh, there we go. So, after too long that I'd cared to actually admit, we now have utilities. There was an issue with water for a minute. We are going to upgrade this station to the fully, just in case there's any extra space. So there's a... oh, not actually. Just trying to build up this bad boy. What does that mean then? No track connection. One of the upgrades has got, oh, an underground, that's what that is. So if we went underground, yeah, we've now got the underground attached, which is quite cool. But we'll leave that for now. So we've got our train station in place. The next thing we need to do is put in some car parks, and then we can go ahead and build. And you may have noticed there's a few bumps in on our canals, so we'll also just quickly fix up those areas where there were bumps. Now interestingly, when we go from aerial view, it looks like there's places where there isn't river, but actually once we zoom in, it's all pretty fine and dandy. So let's quickly pop in some parking, and then we get the joys of housing. So let's go. So if we actually look at the images of Venice, they've got like a huge, massive multi-story car park literally at the entrance, and then they've got a place for like buses and that to drop off all the tourists. So I think we'll find a place to put this bad boy and some other nice big kind of car parks. So we have rearranged the parking. We've got a big automated car park thingamajig, which I've never actually put down before. And it says it stores up to 416. And then we've got 4 of these underground that store 200. And then we've got a large car park that stores 300 and something. And he is complaining about water. Why? Because our water availability is 10 out of 10, so I don't know if there's a glitch happening. Maybe if I move him, plop him back down. And I'm just going to put a couple of like little walkways. everything has some nice walkways around all that parking, and then I think we'll just finish off, because I think this whole area should just be, you know, a whole kind of zoning for parking. So we'll pop that one down, which we just need to move because he's in slightly the wrong place. There we go. And then we've got some upgrades, whatever that means. Anyone else got upgrades? No. Yes, and very much it just has... See, it's talking about water availability again, which just is quite insane when you think how much we are producing, but maybe not enough on this side of the island. So we will plop down another water thing next door. Right, and our train station says we don't have enough labour, because we don't have any labour actually. Nobody should be living here, so there we go. So we'll just finish off this area with some more little parking, basic parking things. I think we'll kind of do a bit of a reverse, so maybe have that one, and actually I don't think we've got room for anything else particularly, so we will just put 2 of those, and again put a few little walkways around the outside. Now, the key thing with this is there has to be roads, as in, or otherwise we can't build houses because you don't get zoning. So we are going to do a big experiment, and it's probably going to fail, but from here on out it is going to be pedestrian roads. And we will see whether we fail off the back of that. I think initially we want to do like a path that kind of splits like this way, and then one that also goes off this way. So we're just getting some ideas. Let's put some housing, some shops down. I think this could be straight. People park up and they walk along, you know, some little shops maybe. I mean, in Venice there is very specific areas where, like, I suppose the main shops are, but they kind of have that kind of EU mixed where there's houses or flats and things on top and then shops underneath. So hopefully I would love to be able to force it so that that kind of was the option. And then obviously we've got this bit between here and the train station. They don't really have loads and loads of like parks in Venice, like not in the same way. A medieval castle would be quite good, you know, at some point, because obviously the main bit of Venice, where the plaza and that is, you have that kind of well, the Doge's palace, let's say. So we could always look at that somewhere like there. Actually, we'll spin him around if we can. Can we spin you around? No, I just have to delete you. Oh, that's a bit annoying. If we put a pedestrian road there, we'll level them out, but that's kind of cool. We've got something, and then we've got all these parks. Just thinking when people get off the train, it'll be quite nice. I mean, you almost want, because again, we don't really want buses or anything because they don't have them. I suppose what we could do is get away with potentially doing the subway because it's underground, and we could potentially get away with trams by using pedestrian roads, but I think we won't use buses, and we'll use waterways. Now I'd love a mod where we could have like little rowboats. I don't know if that's something that might be possible. I don't know. What is going on with our water? Look, there's loads of water. I am baffled. it's saying that we've got loads of water usage, but all those buildings are struggling. And I don't know whether it's the geothermal plant. I mean, I've had a geothermal plant before. So my heart's telling me it could be a bug, but I'm not sure because we've got 2 of them now. And now they've both got the upgrade to improve water. Just unusual. I will keep an eye on that. Let me know in the comments if there's an obvious reason that I'm just not, you know, used to. So this is kind of our largest park, and I think we'll just have it so that when people walk out, you kind of come straight out to a nice little park area, and then we can build around it. And again, we might look at tram stops and all of that fun stuff. And people can get taxis from around here, so I think that's a good start. Now we need to start putting some roads in, or pedestrian paths, let's call it, because we don't really actually want many people driving around. We'll want a way for people to get up to there, and actually let's just grid it out. Because Venice itself, actually, they do have curved roads, but it is, if you look from up above, like quite gritty actually. Whew, that's definitely the wrong building. Look at that. I just wanted I've never built a city big enough to have a high density building, so I was curious to what it might look like, and the answer is diabolical. So these are kind of the buildings that we have available to us. So we are makeshifting a slightly ugly looking Venice, less pretty than the original. Let's just see how that does it. It doesn't let you do both. I just want to see if I get rid of them, will it pop back? No, it's okay. And to be honest, I really like the when you keep them like small. Like, look at that, it's so cute and tiny. Look at that, it's so cute. And they're different colours. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, we are going to get chaos. Let's not forget that there is going to be absolute mayhem here. Now, I just realised we haven't actually connected a train line at all. I think the first one was to Baxley, so let's put that in. And Wallingham. And we'll give them slightly different colours. There you go. So you may have noticed that we have lots of people parking where they shouldn't be parking. It seems to be just like in real life. Everybody wants to park everywhere else, eh? And I'm not taking any of their crap. You can't park there, love. It's not allowed. There you go. You idiots. People will do anything to park. Absolutely everywhere. But the designated parking zones, you morons. And it's just, you know, we're trying to recreate Venice here. Not just anywhere. Somewhere where people can't park. Oh, I've got no train car terminal. I'm like, oh yeah, you can bring trains along all you like. No, you can't, because we ain't got no train cargoes. I don't know what that accent was, and I apologise for butchering it. A rail yard. Has to go somewhere, eh? Let's pop it somewhere built up that we don't really care about as much. So we'll go over there. And just look at the burning forest fire. Right. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. You can tell I played this game far too much, can't you? Right, I mean that's achievable. This bit, where does that go then? I'm curious. Do they go somewhere? I haven't got to a point yet with trains, so I honestly don't know the answer, but nobody's complaining, and we've got a ton of houses. Look at that. Jesus Christ. Well, that's pretty good going, isn't it? Let's put more down. So we're putting all the low density over here because, you know, and there isn't really a technique I'm going for either. I'm just butchering, because frankly this area, I don't care. Oh, hearses. Of course people are going to need hearses and medical stuff. Health Institute? Ooh. I mean, you're ginormous. Absolutely ginormous, as are you, but you kind of at least not like a ridiculous height, because you're like really tiny and you don't really fit. Let's see what you do. You're cool. Do you have anything else? No. You just process waste. I've never seen that cool. That's cool. Look at you. I know, I've never really got far in this game, probably because I keep changing ideas. No vehicles, no vehicles. What are you on about? I've released a load of vehicles. It's probably that nobody wants to come. 8 vehicles are in use. They're being boarded on. Don't know what you're complaining about, little thing. Whatever that did, it did something. Right. What is wrong? What is wrong with you, Venice? Somebody died when they straight away moved in. I feel like that's a problem. It is, probably. Right, schools. And again, they have really, you know, their schools are tiny, like they don't really fit in. However, Venice, I'm pretty sure there were a few schools dotted around. So it wouldn't hurt to pop one somewhere. Maybe not right by the train station. What we could do is kind of connect over to that island, I think, whilst we're letting everything build. Does that look... It's just a shame you can't do like the bridge upgrades on it, you know? I suppose I can. Which actually Venice does have some of those kind of bridges. I feel like they did. Is that gonna... that might be cuter. Cuter. I don't know where that accent came from, but it did. Now try to marry that. But then that's not even like a pedestrian, do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. I suppose the only thing is, we don't actually, because in real life, I suppose if we're being honest, if we're being honest, they don't have like such big bridges. You know, they would very much they would have these everywhere, which we'll put a load of those, but we still need a main road that has some of this stuff. So that's kind of what we're going to have to do. It's just making sure potentially that boats and stuff could travel underneath. I feel like that's not quite right. So we're just going to amend our bridge now that I've made up my mind. And to be fair, it would be kind of cute to have it, I don't know, pass, like winding around a little bit. Because we want it to almost go over to this harbour bit somehow. So we'll stick like that. Might as well keep that gravel road, it's kind of cute. And then people will probably be wanting to get over to our lovely medieval castle at some point, but you know, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Right, so now we can think about where do we want our school. I think if we do the school straight on the main road, I don't think that would be unacceptable, and we will buy all the extensions. And then, you know, maybe we have the high school not next door but opposite, almost as like a district. And again, we'll put in all the extensions. Ooh, hadn't clocked. I forgot about the thingy-majig. If we put him there, what we'll have to do is flatten the ground, because that's not very flat, is it? The reason I'm doing all of this anyway is I like the idea of doing like a bit of a sports complex. You know, if we're going to put a school in somewhere in Venice, we might as well have all the parks and everything by it, so everybody knows that that's the place they're going. And we've already unlocked everything, so we can easily put in our parks. So we've got tennis courts galore, we've got everything and anything people want, which is great. Oh, that's going to annoy me. I'm going to move it around a little bit, just so I can level out that bit of train, so I'm not annoyed. We can fix it with paths, I think. I don't know what's gone on with the grass on the tennis courts. You know what I mean? It's a bit peculiar. I suppose that's the land, I guess. It's not really my problem. And then I think that's kind of... Don't know whether we need anything much more. If we put one little road down, you know, maybe... Because Venice does have these kind of back alleys around all the outside, and then it just gives us enough room to put down like the basketball courts, I'm thinking. There we go, got a few of them. And then finally, you know, maybe this skate park, and I think that will suffice as a whole complex. And again, we'll just kind of tree it up for now, make it all pretty. And of course, everything will end up being built up. That's the whole thing with Venice, is like, there isn't space. Everything that exists is filled.
Increasing areas of forest are being engulfed by flames. The thick smoke rising from the fire makes the air dangerous to breathe. Citizens are advised to vacate any premises near the fires and remain at a safe distance until emergency services manage to get the fires under control.
I love how they all go immediately to that one car park. And nowhere else, but we are making some great headway here. We've got some did I put some interesting housing choices down? Probably. I don't think we get much choice here with them. I don't think they're going to exist here, I'm afraid. And again, we're just going to let everything fill in as, I suppose, nature intended. Everything kind of blocked up together. I mean, generally it would be attached. They would all be attached buildings. You know, there's not many gaps in Venice, but I think this is a good start at kind of an appreciation. Bearing in mind we've got limitations with City Skylines. You know, we have to have certain things, and again, you probably would have like a fire station somewhere. I'm thinking, you know, we'll have this as like our touristic area at the back, maybe have this as a bit more utilities and a little bit of like a harbour side area, yeah, and keep the touristic stuff to the back. I don't think the game is really set up yet for like the touristic stuff anyway, so we will put the fire station and that near where the schools are, I think. And we'll pick the big ones just because I think they look more appropriate. I don't know. Maybe I'm going bonkers. A prison? Yeah, imagine living on Venice in your prison. And then we've got the police headquarters, which again will pop somewhere around this area, I think. Maybe if we come down like that. Oh, he's not going to fit. Damn it. You'll make you fit, I will. I'm going to be able to fit some buildings just off of it. Ta-da! And you have extensions, oh my god. Helipad, yeah. A disaster response unit. I mean, why not? You fit there quite nicely. Have we got extensions for you too? You also get a helipad? And you also get a disaster response unit? Why not? Why the hell not? There you go. You're all upgraded. Not very Venice-like. I may end up moving them in a later episode. Let me know what you guys think. Do we keep them here or do we move them all over here? It's going to take a while to build everything we want because we basically need all... it keeps asking for demand for high density and I can't put high density here. I just can't. It won't work. Not unless they've got a really small high density building somewhere, but I don't think they do. A couple of bigger ones on the edge. And actually, let's just have a little play around. How small can I get you? Can you be small? I don't think so. I think it's still going to be ginormous, isn't it? God, that house is on fire already. What are these guys doing? Haven't even been playing it for very long. And whilst that's being built, let's just look at the traffic. And so far, traffic is fine. And actually, only those 2 car parks are full. The other ones, you know, I think it's not going to be long before this whole area is absolutely rammed. But it is what it is. Not much we can do about it, really. I suppose we could build a few more parking areas in this zone. I guess that might be the best way forwards. And really, we're just going to want to really encourage trains, like almost make it free. What I'll probably do is put a train station by where we're building all the low density buildings in the distance, just to allow people to you know, come on in. Death care is a real issue. Why? We've got loads of air pollution. Where do we see that? That's water pollution? No. Noise pollution. I mean, it's not perfect. Ground pollution's fine. You know, people have got park access. They can't complain. And you know, you've got access to really good healthcare. So I think they're just moaning. Yeah. No idea what the problem is. So we'll just wait for that really tall building to grow up and see what it looks like, and then I think we'll leave it there so that we can start a new game working on expanding out towards the kind of dockyard area. What I'd like to do is line it with the road, I think, you know, the quay wall, as they say. And actually we might put a few quay walls around like the more touristic district that we're going to do. But yes, this is Venice 2.0. I think I prefer the original Venice. I have had the luxury of going twice. The first time I went to Venice, I went in like the new year, so like not long into a year. I can't remember that it was January or February, but it was just before like the floods kind of happened. And actually I would say it was the perfect time to go because it was like us and 50 other tourists. The hotel we stayed in was amazing. They had like a bell that rang at a certain time. I swear it was like 10 to say like we're locking the front doors because the floods could get in and damage the hotel. So you have to go in through like a back entrance. And they had loads of like built up pathways to like so that people could walk around without being in the flooded water. But actually when we were there, at least it wasn't that bad, so we could just walk around with wellies. And I really, really enjoyed it because you could actually appreciate everything. You could see all the markings. Whereas the second time I went to Venice, it was as part of like visiting other places in Europe. And it was peak summer, just a day trip. And I hated it. I couldn't see anything. Just moving between the sea of people was a goddamn nightmare. So, yeah. Wouldn't recommend going in the summertime. But look, this is our little high street. You could argue that Venice actually doesn't even have buildings this tall. But the low density is just ugly as hell and really doesn't suit. Oh my god, look at that van. What is he doing? And now we get to actually have a look at what this high density building looks like. I mean, it's not atrocious, you know, compared to the medium density, but it's not what I want personally. So what I might do as a trial, as an experiment, is put a few on this back row, just to see, I suppose, what grows in. Can we even do a 2x2? Is that a thing? No, it has to be 3x3. Does that kind of grow into be something? I don't know what grows up as what, so we're just gonna play with that and see what might grow in the future. Okay, so there are some 2x2s growing in. Yeah, and just see what happens there. Sorry if I was making a real face then, I was just trying to work out how to fix the zoning there. I mean, that doesn't look awful next to those buildings. I'm probably going to have to go through and make the buildings not as tall, because this, to me, looks a bit more accurate. These kind of like smaller buildings with a bit more colour, that's kind of cute, isn't it? Rate that, that's beautiful. So we'll finish today's episode there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you think I need to move like the utility stuff like the fire station and the police station elsewhere, or if you've got any ideas of how we can make Venice survive despite the fact we literally only have pedestrian roads here on out. We'll see. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.